Alrighty guys, so I did a video talking about leveling up and obviously working on your XP and power levels and whatnot. And I just briefly went over the many ways on what you can do to kind of work on your account. This is pretty much the best way on working on power level in terms of, just making your character stronger. And of course that will then affect your overall team battle, and then obviously with the 300 essence you can get along with gold, that will help out in terms of you kind of racking that up with the battle power system that they've got going on. And so the best way to go about raising your power level, shocker, it's your gear set, it's your artifact. Now for the most part, when it comes to gear sets with multiple games that I do play that involve gears, obviously the other game that I do play being Black Clover, the way I tend to go about building my characters is kind of utilizing multiple gear sets in terms of making sets, so that way I can benefit from multiple buffs. In terms of solo leveling, you kind of want to get the complete package. So right now what I'm doing is I'm farming the first two bosses, so that way I can get the regular set, and then the other two bosses I'm kind of working on slowly, because that's when you get the alternative gear sets. So just to quickly break it down, when it comes to obviously the first boss, this one will give you hands and leg gears, of course. And then when it comes to the second boss, which is the one that I was able to farm out at the very beginning, which the game led to me, gives you helmets and chest pieces. Now the gear sets that you obtain from these two are pretty, as I said, standard in terms of the buffs. So you've got the crit rate increase with this one, and then you've got the, what's this one if you want to, so this one will help you out in the break department, and then you've got the HP slash support, because if you get a full set on this one, decreases the user's attack by 8% but increases the team member's attack by 8%. If you're running a support unit, I tend to use this set on. So right now my healer is actually benefiting from buffing up the team with that set. And then you've got the one that gives us the attack increase, and then if you full set it, ignores 15% of the target's defense and attack. So pretty much, as I like to say, basic, right? The basic stats. And then if you head over to the next sets of bosses when you unlock them, once again this one will give you the hands and the legs, which I'm just starting to do now. As you guys can see, I've been really focusing on just getting a full-on legendary set, which is what I would recommend. And then because these bosses are slightly more harder, I will say, and then over here you get the helmets and you get the chest piece. Now once again, the regular sets are in here, so if you want to maximize and if you're capable of doing these fights, because they are slightly more harder of course, then you can do so. In terms of doing these gear fights, of course you do get the alternative sets themselves. So for example with this one, it helps out with increasing the shield, and then of course the full set, when a team member including the player activates a shield, it increases damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds. So characters that are more in line with shielding characters and applying shield, there's a gear set specifically for that. You've got one that helps you out in the ultimate department, right, in terms of doing more damage. If you full set it, it decreases the ultimate skill cooldown by 40%. So that would actually, because this is one thing which I do want to try, so like we can do combinations where we can apply a full set of that, and then having the wind typing character, the SR Parkijin, with on our team, because of course she does give us that additional, I think it's 15% ultimate damage. So again, there's some combinations that we could do with characters as well as gear sets. You've got another one which kind of reminds me of Vigorous, but whatever. Obviously you get the basic attack increase, and then obviously core attack damage goes up by 18%, and you also get a charge on your core gauge by 60, and then lastly your power gauge acquisition rate goes up by 20%, and then when you get a full set, when the battle starts, charges power gauge by 50%, and additionally increases the player and party's power gauge acquisition rate by 20%. So I'm trying to work on that for my healer, but like I said, these are the more advanced, I would say, more specific in terms of certain characters that can benefit from these gear sets. Now what I would highly recommend is at the very beginning, just go with the base gear sets and try and get the high rarity and try and get a complete set. Now that's the gear side of things. There's also more to it, of course, if you're able to continue on with the game and get instant dungeons, because of course over here is where you get the accessories. Now there's no base or any advanced type of accessories. There's only one set throughout. And so there's 2 bosses. The first one will give you necklaces and bracelets, as you guys can see, and then the other one will give you earrings and the rings. So obviously there's 4 sets as of right now when it comes to the accessory side of things, in terms of the red-eyed earrings, which will give you the increased attack by 5% for 4 seconds when landing a crit hit, and then the attack increases effect stack maximum increase to 4 instances. You've got the when the user has 50% HP or less, their damage dealt increases by 15%. HP condition has been changed to 70%, and the damage dealt increases to 30%. This is pretty nice. So once you get that 70% drop in HP, then you get that 30% increase. That's not too bad. When landing a crit hit, it has a 25% chance to increase attack by 0.8%. You can stack that up to 100% times. Cooldown is 1 second, so you've got to be consistent with it. If you get a 4 stack of this, then the activation rate goes to 50%, and then the attack increase effect goes up to 1.6%. That's also good if you've got high crit chance. Heading over to the next set, when landing a crit hit, it has a 20... Wait, no, am I... Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. So second to last, there we go. When tagging out, increases the attack of you and your team member by 12% for 10 seconds. Increases the attack increase effect to 28% and the duration to 15 seconds. So this will be good for the hunters, I'd say. And then when it comes to the last gear set, increases the skill MP consumption rate by 20%, but increases damage dealt by 5% and decreases the basic skill cooldown by 5%. And if you 4 set it, increases damage increase effect to 18% and the cooldown reduction rate of basic skills to 18%. Oh wait, there's one more. My apologies. I don't know why that's not lined up. Anyway, when attacking enemies with 40% or less HP, increases damage dealt by 8%. HP condition has been changed to 70%, and the damage increases effect to 20%. If anything, I'd resort to using the one where it affects our HP. TBH. But anyway, that is pretty much again the gear side of things. So like I mentioned, those are the ways to kind of go about getting gears. And yeah, you should be able to, as of right now, because the game's been out for what, a couple of days now, and I feel like for the most part people should be able to do tier 8 by now, due to looking at the power level. If not, that's fine, because at the end of the day, as long... I think it's tier 5, yeah. I think it's tier 5 across the board for all the boss fights. As long as you're able to do tier 5 on everything, you are getting the legendary drop. And that's what you want at the end of the day, because you want that high rarity. So once you farm out and get some artifacts, obviously when it comes to working on your characters, now we can get onto that. Now, right now, my total power for Jinwoo is 50k, which isn't too bad. I'm still trying to work on getting the right artifacts in terms of, because I'm trying to cater to like HP and damage basically right now, so I'm trying to get myself some higher rarity. But I mean, this is beautiful in terms of what I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm having a hard time trying to find some boots, but as you guys can see, I'm running a 4-man set. Now beforehand, what I did was I was doing 2-2-2-2, trying to make good use of obviously having the bonus effects from having a 2 sets. But what I found out was my total power was very low in terms of what it could be, and then I found out if I run a 4-man set, it just shoots up. So that's something that you want to cater to. So in terms of how I found that out was obviously with my hunters. You know, when I did my summoning video, you know, I got Jubal, of course, and with the gear sets that I was running, as you guys can see, I was giving her the shield because she is a shield user, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, why is she one behind Emma? What? This makes no sense. And then I come to find out with the gear sets that I was running on how it was benefiting her, yeah, it just kind of boosted her power level up tremendously, of course. And so right now what I'm trying to do is, yeah, I'm trying to give her the outstanding connections, which I don't think I've got much for right now. Oh, I take it back, boys. Hold on a minute. We might be able to do it right now. Wait, do I have any good earrings? Oh, wait. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll change artifacts and we will equip that. Confirm. I hate the fact that it's costing me. So I'm going to lose. So we're at 34k, right? So, yeah. Okay, so when tagging out, increases the attack of the you and your team members, increases the attack effect. So that's what I want, because I am going to be tagging in and out so I can make good use of shield. So now if I enhance it, because now that's a full set, right? So now if I enhance it, I'm just going to go straight to 10. Oh, that's not it. 10. There we go. So we're just going to go 10. I mean, I probably will max it out to 14. So that's another thing. I mentioned this before on the gear set side of things. If you're capable and able enough to spend the resources, go to 10. Now, if the last slot says +5 to get the last substats, then just go to 5. But for the most part, going to 10 is going to be crucial for most gear sets. So in this situation, if you're trying to be saveable, go for +5. But 10 is what I always shoot for. Because for most gears, especially with the blue sets, yeah, for the last slot you need to go to +10. But ooh, okay, yeah, there we go. So we've already shot up. We've already shot. We might go to 36k, boys. I ain't gonna cap. There we go. And yeah, 36k. There we go. So now, if I hold on a minute, if I go to basic. So we're just below Emma, and Emma's low-key kitted out right now. Yeah, so now that's in effect. Power level shot up tremendously, and yeah, it's not bad. Obviously for Emma, like in this situation, I just decided to put on a full set of this, which is something that I'm going to completely take off. This set is beautiful for her in terms of her breakness, which is one of the sets which I would recommend. Obviously over here, I just put on a full set in terms of just raising her power level. That was it. And yeah, some of these substats are kind of iffy, but it's going to change in terms of what I managed to get right now. Look at this. I have to show this off. The minute I saw this, I was like, oh my god, I think I know what gear set we're going, and this is going to work tremendously with Emma, because right now she's putting in some work in terms of damage. So I've already got things lined up in terms of what I can add, so that's also something beautiful to take note of when getting those gear sets and accessories. So I'm over the moon. I can't wait. My Emma is probably going to shoot to 40. I mean, should we do it right now? I mean, technically speaking, we might be able to do it right now to kind of shoot her up to 40k, so you guys can really understand that having a full set is way more beneficial. All right, 40k. There we go. We just made it. So there we have it. Oh my god, that's beautiful. So yeah, having a full set right there again, and if you can get a full set with, like, as you guys can see right there, just the perfect substats, then it's, yeah. Wait, how are you? Wait, what? What's going on here? Oh wait, because I took off the gear. Hold on a minute. Let me go to basic. Yeah, okay, so there we go. So we kind of shot that up. Again, there's other things you can do to kind of work on your characters in terms of raising their stats and whatnot, but gear sets, running a full set really does boost you up. I mean, it's very costly. That's the unfortunate thing. But again, once you've done that, you then can benefit from your battle class. So I was at 140, 143. So I'm 1,000 off from getting to 144. But need to work on the healer. So I'm shooting for 150, hopefully by tomorrow. But I need to work on his. So as you guys can see, 130. And then if I go over the artifact. So yeah, wait, is this a full set? So right now I'm running a full set on that, but I can do a lot better in terms of getting a high rarity. And then with the accessories, as you guys can see, I'm doing a two set. So I need to kind of forget all of that, get a full-on set. I'm probably going to keep the base set of this, so that way I can make good use of the HP as well as benefit the whole team with the attack. And then over here, I'm going to have to figure out on what I want to do in terms of what effect I'm trying to apply. Yeah, when it comes to gears, it's the best way to get your power level up. The way I went about farming it, just do tier 5 at the very least so you can get the legendary. Obviously the higher the rarity, the more better it will be in terms of raising your power level. The unfortunate thing is that the substats are good. Well, no, it's not the unfortunate thing, because the substats are already going to be there, so when you level it up, it will buff up the substats. So that's also something to cater to, whereas if you go ahead and do it on the lower rarity one, the substats aren't going to be there, so it will add on the substats. So in order for you to then power up the substats, you're going to then have to go furthermore on. Just to clarify, going to 14 is max. Once you hit 15, it will require these materials, which you can get through the gate, you can buy, but more importantly, you would have to craft them. There we go. So it's going to require 15 of these just for one, 2,000 gold. It's expensive. That's why I say, at the very least for right now, just don't bother going past 15. And then these resources, yeah, you go from the shop. And then you can exchange your crystals, which you can get from mining. There's a lot to do, you know, when it comes to getting the materials. But yeah, you get them from mining, as you guys can see. So make sure that you're deploying your mines consistently. And then, Yeah, you can get 20 of these. But as of right now, it only I don't even get to 14. Go to 10 at the very least. Don't even go to 14 if it's not the perfect gear set, because again, it's very costly. So yeah, that's pretty much the best way to raise your power level.